Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Mr. Shakespeare going with you on the 11th of June, 2025, joined as usual by psychic medium and remote viewer Liz Cross. How are we doing today, Liz?
Oh, good. Thank you. How are you?
Okay, yeah. Had a little
Awesome.
vacation holiday, so I'm all back and trying to get myself the right way around and keeping up with all what's going on. Talking of which, talking of which, there's some problems that started in California. So I think we should discuss that and have a probe.
I
Uh,
agree. Let's see what's going on. I just to let everyone know, mind probes are very, very difficult for a lot of people to handle because it bypasses the media spin. We are literally going to find out the truth here. We're going to hit their truth meter. So please, if you can't handle the mind probe, that's fine. There's lots of other videos to choose from.
okay. Right. We'll start with Newsom, Gavin Newsom, who is the governor of California. We'll start with him. So, can you get a connection with him, please?
I can. First impression, this guy's on drugs. I'm telling you right now. Bearing in mind, it's very early as we're doing this video. And so, because I'm ahead of California time, it is super duper early in California. And I can feel that there are drugs in his system. He's definitely on drugs.
Right. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look. So, let's have a chat with him. Right. What does he think about the riots that started in Los Angeles, California? What's his impression? What does he currently think about the riots that started in Los Angeles?
What do you currently think about the riots? And it's good for business. Hmm.
Okay. What kind of business? I mean,
Mm.
what businesses benefit from having riots?
Why do you say it's good for business? Okay. He's not talking about, God, he's not talking about like businesses or the small man. Because of these riots in LA, money is pouring into his campaign. Can you believe that?
Yeah, of course.
This my probes are
What did
shocking.
I say to you off? What did I say to you off camera? What did I say to you, Liz? What did I say before we started recording?
Which bit, love? Which bit? I mean, you said a lot.
Well, I did. The bit about who the next Democratic Party nominee for the presidency
Oh
in
my
2028.
God. You did. Mr. Shakespeare said he's going to be the next Democratic Party nominee, or certainly they're going to try. And I cannot believe that he just said this. I'm just like in shock myself, but I'm not going to get all emotional and send Liz Cross a bunch of hate mail because of the information being eked out, like some people do, which by the way, I never read. I read the first two lines and then bang, you're blocked. Okay, so, um, wow, that's what he meant. It's good for business.
His business.
Yes, his campaign.
Yeah, his
Money
business, his
is
campaign. All
pouring
right,
in.
so it's political. Okay. Um, did he, was he instrumental in any of the origins of this? I know he's not part of the federal ICE agents who are involved, but is he in any way? I mean, was he waiting for this to happen
What do
or
you mean?
something like this? You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be in Los Angeles, could have been in San Fran or wherever, but I mean, was he waiting for something like this? You know, was he using, never let a good opportunity go to waste?
Were you waiting for something like this? I mean, it is a perfect opportunity, but no, this just, in his personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, it's just sprung up out of nowhere. Now, if other people organized it, he was not aware.
Okay,
However, he's working it, right? He's using this situation to his campaign funding benefit.
right.
Mm,
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's a politician, so I mean, these are the kind of things that politicians do. If he wasn't directly involved in the origin of it, but hey, one morning it started. So, hey, how can I make this help me? What does he think about the average California or the average person in Los Angeles that has to put up with all of this?
What do you think about the average person in Los Angeles that has to put out? It's par for the course.
Right. Okay. Does he have an opinion on people like waving Mexican flags, in Los Angeles,
Do you have an opinion on people
as
waving
opposed to American flags, I mean?
Mexican flags in LA? It's encouraged, he says. Good for them. You lived here at one time, right? I mean,
I never
we're
wore them.
we're here. We're British. We have our flag. I mean, I understand what you're saying with regards to people down there rioting and protesting, but I mean, we have our British flag
Yeah, I
out.
know, but you don't go and set fire to cars, cause roadblocks, and start stoning the local police department, do you?
Well, you don't know that, Mr. Shakespeare, what I do in my spare time.
Okay, can we have a separate probe on that, please, Liz? What Liz does in her spare time? So that's my view. Okay, let's go back to Gavin Newsom. Um, okay, no, let's hold him there for a minute and
Okay.
let's bring in the President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Okay.
I'm sure he's got an opinion on what's going on. Yes. So let's ask Donald Trump. Have you got him?
I do.
Okay. What's his current thoughts regarding the riots that started in California, specifically Los Angeles?
What are your current thoughts regarding the riots in LA? It's a war zone.
Right. Okay. And what does he think of the copycat riots that have sprung up in a few other states? Not as big as LA, but they have all there's at least three or four of them that have sprung up. What does he think about that?
What do you think about the copycat riots that have sprung up in other states? He thinks, in his personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, what he just said to me is they're being paid to do it. Now they're trying to catch on like wildfire. They want the whole country to burn. That's what he just said to me.
Okay. Does he believe that? I mean, this is like a real insurrection. Does he believe that there are people, okay, bad actors, let's call them bad actors, who are trying to foment a civil war within the United States?
Do you think there's people trying to create a civil war within the United States? He said, don't you dare. What do you mean by don't you dare? They'll lose and he'll flatten all of them. If they want to see burned to the ground, I will give them burned to the ground. That's what he just said to me.
Right, but he didn't answer the question. Does he
No.
actually, well, does he believe that's what they want? I mean, I know what he's doing is he's answering a subsequent question that I never asked, which was what would he do about it? But first we have to establish, does he believe that that's there are people, bad actors, call them what you like, foreign, I don't know who, it doesn't matter who they are, but for the purposes of this, but does he believe there is a conspiracy then? Let's call it a conspiracy to to try and foment a civil war within these United States.
Do you believe that there's a conspiracy to try to foment a civil war within? Oh, they would love that. Do you believe that it's? No, he doesn't believe that.
Right.
He believes, he just said to me, what do you say that to me again? What do you believe this is? He says they're paid. He believes that these are people that are paid just to stir up trouble,
Yep.
stir up media sensation, his personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, and to tarnish his name.
Yeah. Will the federal government be doing any investigation as to who is paying who to do this?
Will you be doing any or the federal government be doing any investigation to find? We know who's paying, he says. We've got them listed. We know exactly where the money's coming from. And what are you going to do about it? They may try to freeze the money under the Terrorism Act,
Yeah.
is what he said.
Okay. Well, yes. I mean, if you do things like this, I suppose if it could be classed as. I mean, there's one thing protesting. There's another thing when you are, throwing rocks at moving police vehicles and federal agents and things like that. I mean, that's that's stepping over some lines there, isn't it?
Well,
Okay.
let's ask this question. What percentage of all the protesters are actually create or are actually, arrestable? What percentage? Now, when I ask him that question, it's a very small percentage. So what is the overall percentage so far? It's less than 5%. So it's a very small amount of people that are creating big problems.
True. I believe that. And of course, there's a lot of copycat, you go along to get along or you get along to go along. People are just, you know, they're frustrated or whatever, and they're just jumping on bandwagons and things like that. But that's how they cause the agitators know this. It always takes a very small amount of people to then change the mood of a crowd, change the mood of something.
Mm.
I mean, those are the ones that are paid. So those are the ones that are probably the most arrestable. And obviously whoever's providing the money to fund all of these things, because, you know,
Well, let's ask this question. Let's grab the ones that have already been arrested. Okay, so I'm going to grab them as a separate entity. Have you been paid? Yeah, they were paid. They were paid to act criminally.
okay.
Were you organized? Yes. Were you told what to do? Yes. It's a very small group,
Yeah.
but they were paid to act criminally. A lot of money, actually. And what I'm getting is they picked on very poor, vulnerable members of society who are destitute, who are desperate, and this money would mean a lot to them. That's what I'm getting from the small group that have been arrested.
Right. Well, that doesn't surprise me because they're not going to, you know, appeal to a bunch of very rich or millionaires or whatever, the people that, I mean, why would you do that? The risk reward is not worth it. But if you have nothing, you're very poor, then um, exactly. So these people again have been targeted. So whilst you've got all the people that have been arrested together, do they realize they're probably going to go to federal prison for what they've done?
Do you realize you're probably going to go to federal prison for what you've done? No, they don't. They don't think that far ahead. Their eye is on the money. And I do feel what I am getting, or how many of you are homeless? Quite a few of them are homeless,
Right. Okay. Huh.
living
Okay.
out of cars,
Yeah.
living in tents. I do feel that they work. Probably, what I'm getting is cash in hand jobs.
Hmm.
But most of them are homeless. So, how much are they paying you? They're paying them quite a hefty amount, 5 to 10 grand each.
Wow. Okay. All right, so can we just ask, just to wrap this up, can we ask Trump and Gavin Newsom separately, how do they think this is all going to end? We'll start with Newsom, please.
How do you think this is going to end? The military are going to take control of the streets, send everybody home. Curfews are going to be put in place, no-go areas. If people are found to be in violation of that, they will be arrestable.
And what does he think about that?
And what do you think about that? He thinks it's good.
Of course, because it shows, right? Of course, yeah, I get that. Politically, yeah. Politically, he can gain some capital out of this. I mean, unbelievable, but yeah. Okay, let's ask Trump. Same question.
How do you think this is going to end? Well, Trump, he is a very he's like, we're gonna round him up, we're gonna throw him in jail. But no, really, you have to, speak within the confines of the law. As much as you want to round them up and throw them in jail, legally, you're not technically able to do that. And he's aware of that. Which this is the first time, really, and maybe because it is so early in the morning, that he's been quite emotional about things. Normally, he's not very this emotional.
Right.
Normally, he's kind of Teflon. Nothing seems to stick, but very low on the emotional engagement side. But this has ruffled his feathers a little bit. I can tell. Why are you so ruffled by this? I think that it's just been too much for him with the Elon Musk thing and now the riots. And he thought he was past that. He thought that he was past everybody attacking him, everybody trying to take him down. And it looks like it's all starting over again, according to his personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. So let's ask the founding fathers, how is this going to end? This is not going to go on for much longer, by the way, is what I'm getting. And
Right.
how is it going to end? They're going to just do exactly as Gavin Newsom said. They're going to make no-go zones. They're going to, and have curfews. They're going to move people along. You're not allowed to be there to protest anymore because it
Mm.
has gotten out of hand. So even if you wanted to turn up and peacefully protest, that's not going to be allowed. And it eventually will just fizzle out, is what I'm
Right.
getting. And I feel like it's already fizzling out. The crowd is dwindling down from what I'm getting. And then I feel this is going to be over in a couple of days.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So that was interesting, really. I mean, that whole thing about Gavin Newsom getting campaign funding, that really surprised me.
Didn't me? Well, I didn't know about the funding, but I did say to you, I said to you before we even started recording, I said to you that, and we hadn't discussed it. Mr.
That's
Shakespeare
so funny.
is the new age psychic.
That is so funny. All right. Well, thanks so much, Mr. Shakespeare.
Okay.
And happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.